All right, once the page loads, you will see you're here at the beginning. You have to decide how many players are going to play. So for this example, we're going to have 3 players. I'm the host, Senate Board Games, and then we have 2 vacant seats. There are no AI or computer players in tabletopia.com, so you need to invite friends. The 2 best ways to do that are either send them the room code or send them a URL. So we copy the URL or copy the room code. We'll copy the URL first, email that to them or whatever. Send it does not work on the mobile version of Tabletopia, so they need to be on a computer, laptop, desktop, whatever. So you'll send them the link, they paste in the link, boom, here they are. So they are going to join. They want to play as a guest unless they want to create an account. So this is going to be friend 1, play as guest. And then they're going to join. And then that automatically gives them this first spot. All right, the other way you can invite somebody is you can copy the room number. So we will do that. And they just need to go to tabletopia.com and then paste in the room number. And then you see, okay, send it, room number that. So they're going to click on that. And then they are going to join here. This is friend 2, play as guest. And they're going to join. As the host, you can now see they're all in here. It says offline because I've been having to switch between windows, but they're in here. You're going to hit start, and then they are going to confirm that they're ready to go. So friend 1 will confirm and say ready. Friend 2 will confirm and say ready. And then it starts loading for everyone. All right, so here we are. This is the beginning of the game. The first thing you can see is that everything has already been randomized. So all of the tiles have been randomly placed. All of the tokens have been randomly placed. The rider cards, this is my rider card, have all been randomly assigned to each player. All right, things changed real quick because I had some recording issues, but this is the default view. It sort of shows you from your perspective. So we are single track Sammy. What we're going to do is save this view. So we'll hit Shift and then press 1, and that saves this view. And then we're going to create another view. So if you are on a laptop like I am, you're going to 2-finger click. If you're using a mouse, you'll right click and then scroll down. And then that gives you an overhead view. And then we'll zoom in. You can do that by either scrolling or using the plus and minus on your keyboard. Okay, we'll get this card centered. We're going to save this as view 2. So we'll hold Shift and press number 2. And while we're down here, we're going to set the starting skill markers. So for Sammy, that's 1 here. Okay, so now if you hit 1, go back to your previous view. And if you hit 2, it'll zoom in on your rider card. All right, now we're about to start the game, but first, if you want to check out the rules, which is probably a good idea, you're going to click on this little icon in the bottom left. That will pull up your rules. You can either scroll through them or use the up and down arrows to move through them. That's just a handy thing to have when it's somebody else's turn and you want to double check the rules. Or if you've never played before, you should probably spend a little time looking through that before you start playing. So now the person who is hosting is going to start the game. And they are going to click on this icon on the left here. And they're going to click turn-based clockwise. So now it says, okay, it's your turn. You get a little timer here that tells you how long your turn has been. And then when you're done, you can hit end turn. One thing I forgot to do is remove the riders that we aren't using. So we will grab Trials Terrence is not in the game. Throw those in the bag so they're out of the way. And then we have our 3 riders. So now on your turn, there are multiple things you can do. You should look in the rules. But if you are preparing, you can either click and drag to choose a card. And then when you keep moving it towards you, it turns blue there. You see how it highlights there? So here I'd be placing it on the table. Here I'm putting it in my hand. So I'd let go, it puts it on my hand, and you can see what it looks like. If you we're drawing multiple at a time, you could right click on this and then go down to draw. You could use that for just drawing one. So I could draw one like that, or right click on here and draw multiple. This is if you had hyperfocus or if you just sent a feature and therefore got to draw cards. Let's say we just sent black and we get 3 cards. Then to play a card, like this bonus training card, it says discard this card to add 2 skill points to your rider profile. So to discard, we would just drag it over and drop it in the discard pile. And it goes boom and drops on there for you, which is really cool. Let's see, I'm going to draw some more of these cards because I want to be able to use them as an example. So let's draw 10 cards. Even though you can't actually have that many cards, still didn't get what I needed. All right, let's draw some more cards so we can make sure I get one to show. Okay, here we go. Here's a hyperfocus. So let's say you wanted to activate your hyperfocus. It says activate it, place it face up next to your rider card. As long as you have this card, draw 2 cards for each repair action. So we drag it out and drop it down here. Then let's hit 2 to go to our rider card view. In there. Okay, so now we have that. We'll hit 1 again to go back to this view. And see, something else you might want to do is train. So you would select the training dice. The way you do that is click on one and then hold shift and click on the other one. We'll bring them over here in front of us. We're going to hide our hand so that the cards are out of the way. Either you can click here and that shows and hides it, or you can hit H on your keyboard. That hides it. Okay, we need to select our dice again. We can hold shift beforehand and select multiple at a time. And then to roll dice, you select them and then hit R on your keyboard. So roll the dice again. Same thing with the riding die and the sending die. Let's say that we wanted to show an example of a card that we don't have yet. Here we go. Is what I was looking for. So feature closed card. Discard this card to flip over and permanently close any feature tile. Okay, so we will say, all right, we're playing that, and discard it over here. And you can tell it's discarding properly when it turns orange like that. There we go. Okay, so we're going to discard that, which means we get to flip over and close a tile. So the way you do that is, let's say we want to close this big drop. So we click on it, and we hit F, and then that flips it over, and it's closed. So that would be a bummer if somebody was trying to get on that tile. I'm Sammy. Let's say that I was moving this way, and I landed on this token here. Boonk. Then I would want to flip it over, so I would select the token. Come on, select the token, and then I'd hit F, and that would flip it over. Move Sammy here, you can see that is a crash, which means I would have to pick up a crash card. So one thing that's helpful is if you are having a hard time seeing what something is, like right now it's hard to see what this farthest blue tile is. What you can do is hover over it and hit spacebar, and it just shows you what that item is. So that's Steep Rock Garden, those are required skills. Spacebar, again, it goes away. And then here's Sammy, he's on a crash, so I have to draw one of these. So I can pull it over here, drop it there. Then I need to show what it is, so I click it, hit F, flips it over. Oh man, I lost my phone. If you needed to draw more than one, you could right click, and then instead of drawing them, because that puts them in your hand, for crash cards you would take them. So let's say you had to take 3 crash cards, puts them right there for you. You know, you could put them over here, and then once again you need to select them. So you hold shift, select all 3 of them, and then hit F to flip them over. Boom, that's what happened on my crash. Oh yeah, over here you can chat. So, hi guys, I'm winning. Then you can move tokens if you needed to. So if you got a detour card, you could move the position of 2 tiles. So you can move this one out of the way, and then these actually magnet into place. So magnets into place, and then this one over here, magnets into place. That's cool. And then just moving the riders You click on them and move them. You can see the shadow is where they're going to land. So let's say Elsa moved 3 spots, drop it right there. Okay, to just quickly go through all of the shortcuts, we've set our camera angles. So 2 is our rider card, 1 is our view, 0 is an overview of the game. Let's go back to 1. If you want to see what something is, you hover over it and hit spacebar. Spacebar again for it to go away. If you want to flip over a card, you click on it, hit F, flips it over. If you want to select multiple things, you click on one and then hold Shift and click on the other, or you hold Shift and drag to select multiple. And if you want to roll dice, you hit R, and they roll. And if you want to show or hide your hand, you hit H. And this is just showing and hiding it to yourself. Nobody else can see your hand unless you put it on the table and then flip it over. So that should give you a basic start of how to play the game. Obviously, read through the rules. And any questions or anything, send us a message on Instagram. We'll do our best to answer. So yeah, time to go send it.